What's the choice when you're going to make an application for the desktop?
Yeah.
Windows Forms? Or
Silverlight out of browsers is a great experience.
That's what I.
At the end of the day, we've always focused on ensuring that there's a wide spectrum of developers, and there's going to be some who focus on certain talents and others that have different talents, and we want to be able to service all of those developers so they can build the types of applications they want. And with the new functionality of WCF data services in Silverlight, the ability to connect to line of business apps and rapidly build applications, it really is. You look at what we did with Visual Basic long ago, and people built great line of business apps in Visual Basic.
Right.
It is almost, it's as easy to get started with Silverlight. You can build great line of business applications, out of browser run. Hey, that's fantastic. And that's one of the main reasons, or one of the reasons we took a bet on Silverlight for the phone, was because we recognize that as we bring Windows Phone 7 into the enterprise, people are going to want to take applications that they build for out-of-browser connectivity inside their organization and extend them to the phone. And because we have Silverlight in both places, it makes that story very clean, and it will just work for developers. We're actually very excited about that.
Very good. Connecting with what you just said, many people ask themselves about the ease of programmability. I mean, let's say I work or I'm starting to do things with Silverlight because interesting and so on, and there's a lot of things to do. And I might think about downloading the SDK and trying, but is it going to change a lot the few things that I've learned how to do with Silverlight? I mean, does it change the paradigm or not?
Does the phone change the paradigm?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely not. It's if you know Silverlight, building Windows Phone apps will be very easy, very, very easy. And there's about, I think, 600,000 Silverlight developers in the population. Overnight, they became mobile developers, and that's fantastic. But the other part of the question, which I think you asked, was if I don't know Silverlight, how easy is it for me to learn both? If I want to build apps for line of business and for the phone.
Right.
And again, because we took such a strong bet on Silverlight and use it as our application platform, we recognize the power of being able to build web-based apps, out-of-browser apps, phone apps, all using the same technology platform and language. And so it actually makes it quite easy for those developers to get started. We feel really good about it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, and another question.
Have you downloaded the tools?
Of course.
Yeah. Have you built any applications?
Well, just the basic demos and played a little bit.
What did you think of how easy it was?
I like it. I like it a lot.
Good.
I mean, as a matter of fact, I was my book on Silverlight 2.0 was the first one to be published in Spanish, in the Spanish language. And right now I'm finishing my new book on Silverlight 4.
Okay.
So that's why
that's fantastic.
My interest is clear. But since it wasn't finished, I decided, in accordance with some people in Microsoft Spain, to do it, including a Windows Phone chapter, because I think it has to be there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do.
That's fantastic.
That's the point.
I love to hear that. It's great.
I'll send you an issue.
Oh, good.
Count on it.
We just released about 2.5 weeks ago a Spanish version of the DevTools, so now you can get it in local language.
Well, I was collaborating with Andy Gonzalez. You know him?
Who?
Andy Gonzalez is the one of the guys in charge of localization, globalization.
Yep.
And I was contributing in a way for the Silverlight in Spanish, CHM.
Excellent. That's good.
Famous. Okay, another question that is quite important, and because I've said something like that in the papers. It's is it the Windows 7 marketplace enough in comparison, let's say, with Android and...
You mean Windows Phone 7 marketplace?
Right.
Okay.
Right. And
is it enough by what measure?
I mean, they said, is it worth to get a Windows Phone 7? Because am I going to have enough applications, enough possibilities in comparison with the others?
The question we ask most people is, how many apps do you have on a phone that you have right now? And whether or not we, in at least our initial iteration or in the very near future, will have those apps in our marketplace. We had a very strong focus on ensuring we had the right apps and high-quality apps available at launch. So things like Netflix, Facebook, Twitter, all the big names that you would expect. Yelp is another one that many customers use. We wanted to make sure we had. Do we have all of the apps at launch? No, of course not. But we had we said over 1,000. It's a blogger said 2,000, which is not an unfair statement. That's a lot of apps available at launch, and the most of any app store at launch.
And it's something growing.
And it's obviously growing. And so we feel very good about that, but we have to stay focused on ensuring that the right apps get built and that they're high quality. And so we'll continue to work with, we have an entire division of people whose only job is to outreach to developers and ensure they're getting what they need to be successful. And so now that we have a marketplace where mobile developers on the Windows and Microsoft platform can sell their apps and be successful, that's outstanding, right? And they're very excited about that. And we're going to keep focusing on that and grow the marketplace over time. It will never be about total number of apps. It's about whether or not a customer can go to a phone, pick it up, and find the apps they need. And if the answer is yes, we've succeeded.
Under the point of view of the development, do you think that, in a way, Windows Phone 7 SDK, what now is an SDK, will it be integrated in the next Silverlight 5 or whatever the name it is, the number is, SDK? I mean, or it's going to be parallel in the development?
So when we shipped our SDK, we had to pick a point in time with where Silverlight was and fork the code because Silverlight 4 wasn't available yet. They were in development, but they weren't available yet, and we had to go down the production path. So we brought some things back from Silverlight 4 into our version of Silverlight as we move forward. As we go to the next version of the operating system, we will again make that decision point based on where the Silverlight development team is and when we need to put this flag in the ground and say we need to start building. We haven't made that call yet. We're not there yet because we're still just shipping the first iteration. But we will make those decisions as we move through the development process and figure out where we are with the different teams that we partner with. Because with Phone 7, we've done such an excellent job of partnering with different parts of the organization. Bing, Tellme, Silverlight, Office, Xbox. All of these teams we have to partner with. And at some point we have to say, okay, this is the day where we have to take our bet. And so we're making those decisions as we roll forward, and that's what we did with Silverlight in the first iteration.
Okay. Well, the other big point, talking about development for Windows Phone 7, is data access.
Yeah.
And Silverlight offers right now REST services on one side and WTF data services or ADO.NET data services. And, of course, the APIs corresponding to different social networks and so on. What do you think is the line, or are they all to live together? We have to learn how to manage individually each one of them.
No, I think for certain types of developers, they're very comfortable with REST services. They just want to hit an endpoint, pull down XML or JSON, and off they go. Right. And obviously that's available. We have WCF data services. Make that available. OData. We announced the OData library at PDC, our Professional Developers Conference last week, and I demoed it on stage yesterday. So you have access to OData.
Pablo Castro.
Huh? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Pablo, that's right. So we have the ability to give developers what they need to access data how they want. And I think it's the richest set of data access technologies that you'll have on the mobile platforms. But, to say any one of them is right, that's inviting a conversation that it will get me into trouble. I'm sure people will have strong opinions, and we just want to give you what you need and make sure it's highly performant and go from there. And
are you going to keep on the actual collaboration
with
these social networks, so to keep on making it easy for
because these are the types of apps people want to build, right? So the easier we make it for developers to take their dreams and turn them into applications, that's where creativity explodes on the phone, and that's what's going to drive. When you asked about the number of apps, that's what's going to drive that. Is enabling developers to take what they want to do and make it reality. And so the easier we can make it to get started and plug into, whether it's REST interfaces to social networks or business data within your organization, we want to make that possible.
Another thing that I think is quite important, and the Silverlight team is being in charge of that, and I think they've done a wonderful job, are those videos, big bunch of videos that you can access, anyone can access in the Silverlight.net place, and explaining, in QR and all those. explaining every part of these different aspects of programming with Silverlight. Is there going to be a counterpart of that for Windows Phone?
So we've already.
I know there are some already. But.
So we took for a videos standpoint, at least initially, we took a more academic approach with our Jumpstart training, and I think it's now at 19 videos, 1 hour long sessions led by MVPs, and it's classroom type learning where it's a lecture and giving it on a broad topics. We have about 19 of those, and we'll be adding to that library in partnership with our MS Learning team. However, there's also going to be How Do I videos, quick 5 minutes like what's on Silverlight. And some of those already exist in the U.S., and we'll be getting those translated and localized for the local markets. Because the type of developer that we need to reach for mobile, typically in many foreign countries may not speak English versus an enterprise developer who more than likely speaks English. And so we want to make sure we have lots of good local content developed by the MVPs in the local region. So we have the beginnings of the How Do I videos. We're getting a sense of how they're being consumed and whether or not people like them. We're testing them, but we've had great success with the Jumpstart video. I think we've delivered over 200,000 hours of streamed content so far, which is astonishing, and that will continue to grow over time. We'll keep adding sessions to that, led by our MVPs. It's great. Yeah. No, it's very important. The research that we've done with the developer community is they want tutorials and they want samples.
The How Do I?
Yeah, the How Do I. So that's what they want.
That's fantastic because it goes to the point. It's not long. You can stop it and see how it works.
That's right. Yeah, the more samples that we can give, the better. And there has to be common use cases, right? Understanding, hey, I want to build. I can't tell you how many people want to build a Twitter app. Everybody wants to build a Twitter app. Great. Right. So let's walk you through how do you build a Twitter app and what's the right way to do it and what's the wrong way to do it, because you learn just as much from the wrong way as you do from the right way.
Okay. Yeah. And as for the SDK, is it going to be maintained and published by the Codeplex website?
The Windows Phone 7 SDK?
Right.
It's published at create.msdn.com, which is the app.
Right. Yeah,
but it won't be on Codeplex unless we release it open source, which we haven't done. It's on our internal site.
Well, let's finish because I know you don't have much time. We made it pretty well.
Good.
Anyway.
Any questions you didn't get to ask? If you had one more question, what would it be?
I think the main point is roadmap.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm going to start learning things like this, I want to make sure that it's got a future, and more or less what's Microsoft's idea about it.
Well, I can say without hesitation, I have bet my own career on the success of this phone. And it has to be successful, and it has a future roadmap.
And it's going to be.
It will be. It has to be. But it's not going anywhere. There's a lot of really smart people at the company that have changed jobs into Phone 7 because of the opportunity and a commitment to making sure that we are long-term successful. And this is, without question, the hardest job I've ever done in my life. But I'm loving it, and we have a long roadmap ahead of us. Because we've only just begun. Shipping phones in the U.S. started yesterday, in Europe obviously 2 weeks ago. It's just the start, and we have a lot of work to do. But this is the most fun I've ever had in any job. So we're not going anywhere.
Okay, let's hope so. Finally, have you ever been to Spain?
I have. I've only been able to spend a day. I was in Madrid, and I stayed at the hotel that's over by the Microsoft offices, which is right next to Real Madrid's training ground.
Yes.
So I saw all the Audis pull up, and I was like, oh, okay.
Are you planning to go back?
I would love to. I absolutely have to, because one, it's the only foreign language I sort of speak, so at least I feel comfortable, whereas here in Germany, I'm very confused where I am all the time.
You just tell the people at the VP to give me a call, and I'll be able to see you there, and maybe we can talk again.
Yes, at a minimum, I'll be back before June. I'm going to come back through Europe and spend time, and I need to spend more time in Spain because they've been doing an excellent job with developer outreach. So,
well, thanks a lot, Brandon, and let's hope we meet somewhere else.
Absolutely, muchas gracias.
Thank you.